or what number do you like to see?
So like sales, total sales for today.
I'll give you an example is like, I like to see like my volume per week. Like how much did we gross last week? Are there specific things that you look at, or do you wait till the end of the month to look at? Like what are the big numbers like you just like to be conscious about?
Well, just like you, every day I look at sales, but I always look against last year. So obviously during COVID, it was different, but I always look against last year, and then I always look at gross profit margin. Because listen, if my gross profit margin's right, then everything else is on me. So because there's most of the stuff outside of underneath the gross profit margin is stuff that I can control, or it's more controllable. Okay. So I look below that. So if my gross profit margin's where I'd be, and if not, why? Why haven't we done that? Has sales started to sell stuff because they feel they got to give stuff away? We're fortunate that we don't, we have some things in place that allow us to do good pricing because we're involved in some organizations that we get good, really, 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 really good pricing. But we also, I don't take that difference from that either, Steven. So I still just look straight gross profit. Now, yeah, and then I look at bottom line. Obviously, if the owner could spend too much. I made this move. I spent a lot of money. Probably this is going to be a year where I go, what the hell happened? And I look at the stuff and, well, I moved into a new building. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. And I just went and spent some money. And so there's always a reason for it. But my numbers have been pretty consistent. So in 2007, when we went to our own screen printing, I was doing about $1.2 million, right? We're going to be $4.5 million at the end of this year.
Off 2 autos.
Damn.
Off of 2 autos.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah, $4.5 million. That's huge. What's the mix of that? Because you talk about being in Sports Inc. and if people haven't been there, because it is a pretty tight knit group, and correct me if I'm explaining this wrong, but it's a couple hundred shops that mainly sell a lot of sporting goods and apparel, and and then you get to be a part of the group, which means you get special pricing on, the Adidases and Nike.
It's a buying group.
It's a buying group. Yeah, it's a club.
It's a buying group. It's like, one of my customers owns an appliance store, and they have 1,900 appliance stores that buy through, and they get special pricing.
Gotcha.
It's a buying
group. So 100% of that sporting? Of your business, of that $4.5 million, is that, all?
No. Or I'm going to be $4.5 million. We probably did 3.6 this year, I guess, 3.6 million.
Okay.
But I mean, and you say, wow, that's a big growth, but I just hired other reps. So I'm forecasting out that that's what it's going to be. And it might be more than that. So Steven asked about numbers. Okay, there's your numbers. I look out and go, this is what it's going to be based on these reps that I brought on. And I already know, and it's been better than that so far. So
what's the category breakdown then? Is it 100% sporting? And
you've asked. Yeah, you keep asking that, and I keep dancing around it. So we're probably about 37.5% corporate. I don't look at this every day, but it was like 37.5 corporate. But we banged on some big corporates. We've done some things. The gentleman I spoke to before we did this show, I was bringing up some of the things that we did that grew our corporate. And school business has always been it's always going to be a big one for us.
How much of the sales are online stores?
We did right close to $2 million in sales online stores, and we bag and tag everything and ship it. And we don't do it like some shops, I don't know the big word for it, where you order it online, it's a t-shirt, they print out the order, they print the t-shirt on a DTG and they send it fulfillment, print on demand. We don't do fulfillment or print on demand. We don't do any contract printing. Everything we do is our customers.
Gotcha.
The reason we do that is as I don't see any benefit of printing a shirt for somebody and making $2.40 and they're making 10. To me, that's like, I don't know.
Well, you talk about sales reps, right? A lot of shops, the reason they'll start contract printing or start getting into it is because they need sales, right? Talk to us about your model, because you're obviously big in teams. How many reps do you have? How does that work?
We have a total of 6 reps. We have three 3 on team. Okay, so we're in pods. We work in pods. So we have a corporate side pod, which is a junior sales rep, a senior sales rep, and what we call sales assistant or sales associate or sales support associate. And then on the team side, we have a sales support associate and 3 reps, 1 in Maryland and 2 here, and then 1 in Hanover, or 1 in York, 1 that does York and Hanover. And we're adding more in Maryland. We're adding more in Hanover, and we're going from there. So they work in pods. They handle all their own accounts. They have laptops that they can work from home or they can come into work. They put all the orders in through the system. We order stuff, we bring it in, we print it, and we get it out the door. We are now going to delivery, where locally we'll probably start delivering all the orders to people. And here's what it is. When you start getting a little bit bigger and you start putting these things on the table that you can do, it becomes tough for other people to compete against you. So if I'm delivering product, if I'm getting beat by 50 cents, they're going to be like, but Chris brings it to my door. I pay it online. The art comes, it's convenience. Like, it goes back to the gym where I was separating orders. Now we pull up, we separate by grade, we bag it by order, and they go in and they go to the 5th grade wing and they walk down through the home rooms and they just stick it in each room for the kids and it's done.
How's your
basketball team? We do it by team. The coach walks in, we hand it to the coach. The coach goes around to his players, Smith, Jones, Thompson. Thanks, guys. They don't have to do anything.
Is your sales reps, are they base plus commission model or pure commission?
Yes.
Base plus commission. Mm-hmm.
And do they go ahead, Bruce?
No, well, with the pricing that they're charging, is it like a one package all solution since you're just bagging everything, it's a part of it, or are you trying to like add on prices as you go through and like, this is stores, this is how we charge for stores or wholesale, whatever?
This goes back to some of the stuff I talked about, looking at the numbers and all that. And I always said, look, if you do your job right, like our pricing is like, if you go on some of the sites we do, our people will tell you our pricing is really good. Now, granted, being in a buying group does help. Okay. But it also allows me to eat some of those charges. So whereas everybody would be polybagging stuff or they'd be bagging stuff and they're going to charge you for it, or they charge $5 to put a name on the back, I don't need to do that. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. It depends what you want to do. Right. So I don't want to be a hog. I don't want to get slaughtered. So if I start trying to make every dollar on their order or pay my mortgage on their one order, I'm going to lose. So some stuff I eat, some stuff I charge, some stuff, you know what I mean? It becomes, how has it worked? And for us, we've always bagged. If you force the market, let me use this term. Let me define the force the market. When I got in this and started looking at things, everybody was charging for screen print charges. I'm going to charge you for the screens. I'm going to charge you to change a color. I'm going to charge you for everything I do. And I walked in and said, nope, your price is your price. Right here it is. And guess what everybody else had to start doing? Stop charging for that. Because I negotiated with the people that were contract printing for me. I said, look, I'm not going to charge that. I don't need you to charge that for me. Charge me a little bit more on what you're going to charge me. So if it's $250 a shirt, charge me $275 a shirt. You make a little more money, but it takes care of all that stuff, right? And I put it in the cost. And then when Johnny, who used to sell the stuff, walks in the door and be like, hey, why'd you take those orders away from me? Well, I don't have all these. There was $150 worth of charges. My order was $212. So $375, half of that was your charges. So I put the onus back on the other people that were charging them and ran my business efficiently and effectively that I didn't have to charge it.
So
that's basically, I mean, not to say that other people don't. I'm sure there's a valid reason, but for us, that was the main reason.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you had one sales pod around corporate. It sounds like there's 2 to 3 people just focused on corporate. That's with stores or wholesale, or what does that look like?
Yeah. So, on the corporate side, they have current customers. From our Google, we get probably 15 to 20 leads a week, which we're about 86% turning those leads into orders.
So you've got a hard sales pipeline. Like you run a sales organization,
Yeah, you didn't mention all these KPIs before, but you're clearly watching them.
I watch it a little
bit.
Said,
I don't really know, 86.5%.